Hello everybody, it's Jack and welcome back to another video. And in this one, I'm going to be discussing the traits in Infinite Warfare. I'm going to tell you guys what they are. And basically, they are like extra perks for your rig. Now, what are rigs? Rigs are basically like specialists. And you can have up to 3 traits per rig, or 3 traits or 3 extra perks per specialist or whatnot. I'm not entirely sure if you can pick all 3, but I think it just depends on how the pick 10 is going to work. Or they might be limited to just 1 or 2, who knows, but for every single one of them you have a choice of 3, and each different rig has 3, like I said, and some of these are incredibly cheesy, some of them are just fine, and lots of them cater to one certain type of playstyle, and as well as, well, let's just say they are a little too overpowered, and they reward... They overly reward, you know, the players that don't have as much experience, so to speak, to say the least. Just wait till I read these out to you, and then you can generate your own opinions. And long story short, let's just say that I'm a little worried. And it's a good thing that we have the beta, so hopefully some of these will be rebalanced or nerfed or moved around a little bit or whatnot, or whatever they plan to do. But without further ado, let's get into this, and I'm going to read these out to you one at a time. And I'm not going to say these belong under this rig or that rig or whatnot, because quite frankly I did them in order, so there's 3 for every rig, so you can put 2 and 2 together on that one, and at the same time you can change your rig mid-game. So it's like the Black Ops 3 specialist, but you can change them mid-game in a sense. So yeah, so I just figured I'd get right into the meat and the bones and just name out these traits, and yeah, let's get into this, and you guys can generate your own opinions. Alright, the first one is called Ping. Kills and assists activate a sonar ping at enemy's location, and it is also revealed to teammates. Let's move on to the next one. Persistence. Disables reset of score streaks upon death. Only can get them once, and they cost more. So it's like support from previous games, but rebalanced for the better, in my opinion. Still a little cheesy, if you ask me, but at the same time, it is more balanced, so I guess I can't complain. Next one, Resupply, and this one resupplies lethals and tacticals. And for those of you guys that have been doing any sort of research on Infinite Warfare as of right now, you will know about the Black Hole Projector, and that is a insanely lethal grenade, I guess, or lethal equipment. And it basically sucks you in or whatnot, and the thing is, you're gonna be able to spam it and supply it. And from the way this game looks, there's gonna be a lot of strong lethals and a lot of strong tacticals in the game, to say the least. So let's go on to the next one. Infusion, regenerate health faster. Don't have a problem with that. I think that's pretty cool. Next one, Man at Arms. Start at maximum ammo capacity and no longer slow default movement, which I'm not entirely sure what the second one means. If any of you might have any idea, let me know, or what you guys think it is, let me know. Let's move on to the next one. Shockwave, in-air ground slam. I absolutely have no problem with that. Oh, and I believe I didn't write the second part to this down, but also I think this is the one that also, like, if you're close and you ground slam, and if somebody's decently close, you'll be able to stun them as well. Let's move on to the next one. Combat burst, gain a burst of speed movement after each kill. This immediately reminds me of Cranked. And if the game mode is not going to be in there, this is a really good way to kind of compensate for that, in a sense, kind of make those players happy. And at the same time, it's I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a temporary burst of movement, but hey, you know, I'm all for it. I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever. It doesn't seem OP to me. All right, let's move on to the next one. Propulsion, improve thrusters to allow for faster recovery and damage enemies below. So, in other words, I think this means that you can use more of your boost, possibly, and at the same time, if you boost over somebody, you can burn them and kill them, which is pretty cool. Next one is called Rushdown. Execute a quick move in any direction, which basically reminds me of Advanced Warfare. You can press down on the left thumbstick and you can dash forward, backward, left, right. I think that's pretty darn cool. As a matter of fact, I've been playing Advanced Warfare a lot lately, and you know, just to kind of prepare for this game, but that's going to be a subject in another video. But without further ado, let's keep going. The next one is called Supercharge. Drop a payload cooldown pack for your team. So a payload is basically, from everything that I know, a payload is basically your specialist lethal or ability, or lethal or ability, which is separate from these traits, basically, to my knowledge. And basically, you're able to get them faster that way. You can kind of be a team player and do that. I don't necessarily see a problem with that as long as they're not too crazy OP, but at the same time, some of the stuff in this game here is a little crazy too, but at the same time, everybody has them, so it's kind of balanced in a sense. But let's move on to the next one. Perception. HUD pulses yellow when enemies out of view are targeting you. Yeah, this is where things start to get a little way too cheesy for my taste. So cheesy, in fact, that there are no nachos, just a whole bunch of cheese. It's going to be really hard to take somebody out behind a window when they don't see you, that's for sure, if they're just chilling there and if they have this equipped. Yeah, form your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below. Next one. Power Slide. Increased sliding and cooldown ability. Or excuse me, increased sliding and distance and ability to aim down sights while sliding and use less boost meter. Again, no problem with that whatsoever. This one might have belonged in another rig trait category, but at the same time, again, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. Sounds pretty cool. Relay. Placed equipment will alert players and enemies on the minimap. And thrown equipment will paint enemy targets upon detonation. Need I say more? Can't wait to hear your guys' opinions on that one. I don't think I need to say any more. Next one, Trophy Drone. Portable trophy system that destroys one lethal grenade, then recharges. No problem with that whatsoever. I think that'll be really good for objective game modes. Hardened. Placed equipment and drones will have increased protection against damage and persist through death. The salt levels are increasing as I am doing this commentary because, quite frankly, you know, in this game, when there's a trip mine, you kill an enemy and they had a trip mine behind them, right? But you don't see the trip mine because you see their body in front of you and you just keep on running forward after you mowed them down, right? But all of a sudden the trip mine is there for a few more seconds and you trip it and then you die, which is complete BS, right? Because when somebody dies, their stuff is not supposed to be there anymore. Well, it appears that they've kind of added it on as an ability in this game to basically, instead of it disappearing after a few seconds after they die, it just stays there and doesn't go anywhere. And I think you can have up to 2 things at once with this, 2 lethals, I think, if memory serves. But even with that being said, even if it's just 1, it's still kind of crazy. Like I said, a lot of cheese, salt levels are going up, and let's move on to the next one. Marked target. Damaging enemies will mark them for death, preventing regeneration of health for 5 seconds. This can work for both ways, but at the same time, if let's say you mowed a few people down and somebody shoots you, you're not going to be able to recover health, and plus they can see you because they're marked, and marked for death. Does that mean they can see you through walls, or is that just on the minimap? I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, and yes, there is more. As a matter of fact, there are 2 more. Here we go. Rear guard. Equip a back shield that protects you from attack from behind. And I can so see only using me blade, just loving this one to death. Sarcasm included, obviously, if you can't tell already. So basically, you melee somebody from behind. It's not going to work if they have this equipped, or if you shoot them in the back. I think it is also. I don't think that's going to have. I don't think that's gonna do it either. But at the same time, whenever somebody did equip a riot shield in previous games, if you shot them in the back, you know, you had to shoot them in the feet to kill them, if memory serves correct. So, yep. And the last one. Okay, here we go. You guys are gonna love this one, especially if you're a rusher. Heightened senses. Fast-moving enemy targets will appear on the minimap. I mean, this is basically permanent UAV against rushers. So if you're running around, you know, like you're supposed to, in a sense, you know, for the most part, obviously there are players that are passive, and there are also players that are not as passive. But for the most part, you are going to be spending a certain amount of time sprinting around. And if you're a rusher, you're going to spend more time sprinting around. So basically enemies, if they have this, they're going to be able to see you on the minimap all the time. And the one thing that makes this worse is I'm not sure if these traits, so to speak, are going to be countered by perks. So, I don't know. At least not entirely. I don't know. But that's pretty much it for the traits. So, as you can see, in case you haven't been able to tell already, I'm kind of worried about it. and at the same time, I think a lot of people will too. I mean, obviously there are players that can obviously use the good players that run around that can use the cheesy perks to their advantage or whatnot, but at the same time, it seems like a waste because good players don't really need those kind of perks to be able to, sense people or whatnot. Good players that had to go through a lot of trial and error and a lot of things to be able to predict spawns and predict where enemies are going to be and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, for that, just have traits to where the game does it for you is not something that I fully agree with. So I don't know. You guys can let me know down in the comment section what your opinions are of these traits, and what your opinions are, and basically what kind of impact they're going to think they're going to have on the game. And it could be very minimal. I mean, we could be worried about nothing, but at the same time, it doesn't seem that way. It seems like all the stuff that is in the game is meant to be used and seems pretty strong. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And at the same time, thank goodness we have a beta, so we have a chance to give Infinity Ward our feedback, and at the same time, they can move things around and balance things around before the game is fully released. And in that sense, thank God. But as of right now, as far as these traits, I'm seeing way too much cheese. Let's put it that way, a little too much. I mean, I don't, Call of Duty's supposed to have its fair share of cheese, so to speak, and BS, but I don't know. This seems a little too crazy. And another thing is, I wonder how esports is going to take advantage of this. I wonder how the pro players are going to do it, or are they going to have like another ban and protect thing going on, or are they just going to go back to how it was the years previous, to where things are just going to be banned, period? I don't know. It's going to be pretty interesting. So again, let me know down in the comment section below. And I can't wait to hear what you guys think. So I hope you guys learned something from the video. Again, we haven't really gotten our hands on this game yet, so as far as beta is concerned, so at the same time, we don't know exactly how powerful this from a first-hand experience is concerned. We don't know exactly how powerful these things are going to be, but from the looks and from the sounds of things, from what I've seen, they definitely do something in the game, and they definitely are viable. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. So let me know what you guys think. Is this going to be a problem, or is this something that we are just a little too, that me personally, is it something that I'm a little too worried about? Let me know down below. If you like the video, let me know. And if you don't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you on the next one.